Welcome to Renewing Your Mind, where we explore the timeless wisdom of Florence Scovel Shinn's classic book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. I'm Alexis, and in this series, we'll dive deep into the principles that can transform your life. Florence's teachings are all about harnessing the power of your thoughts and words to create a life of abundance, success, and joy. Whether you're looking to improve your career, relationships, or overall well being, her insights provide you with ideas that'll help you achieve your dreams. Join me as we uncover practical strategies and inspiring stories that show just how powerful your mind can be. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any episodes. Now let's jump into renewing our minds together. Chapter 6 is entitled Casting the Burden, Impressing the Subconscious. And it's here that Florence starts off letting us know what a burden is. A burden is merely an adverse thought or condition. So it's something that is working against your desired reality or has the potential to harm or work against that desired reality. And anytime we have a burden, we are supposed to cast it upon our superconscious. Now, remember in chapter 1, we went over the subconscious, superconscious, and the conscious minds, the three departments of the mind. Your superconscious is that God part of you, the source, creator of all that is, whatever you want to call it, but that's your super conscious. So she uses a scripture in the Christian Bible about my yoke is easy, my burden is light, which is what Jesus said. And she goes in to explain, like, if you had a heavy boulder right now here on this 3D earth, the only thing that's making it heavy is gravity. So if you take that same boulder and you put it out in space, it would be light as can be. So when we're casting things in our super conscious mind, what we're doing is we're taking it out of this 3D realm. We're taking it out of that conscious mind that makes it heavy, that makes it like impossible, that makes it the burden that it is. And we're casting it to a realm that's complete peace, that's complete joy and love and all of those things in order to transmute it. So we're throwing it away. So that's the first thing you do is you cast any burden. So any of those thoughts that come through that are not aligned with what you actually want or where you see yourself going or anything like that, you want to cast them to your superconscious. She gives two examples. In these examples, she does use the word Christ, but you can replace the word Christ with whatever you like. Again, creator, universe, source, God, whatever you want to replace it with. So the first example, I cast this burden of resentment on the Christ within, and I go free to be loving, harmonious, and happy. The second example, I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to have plenty. So you want to get your conscious mind clear. So if there's anything in there that's clouding it up with worry and doubt and fear and things like that, again, burdens, you want to go ahead and cast those to your superconscious mind first. Now, once those burdens are cast, she goes on to talk about how you impress your subconscious mind. Again, if we remember from chapter 1, the subconscious mind is the power center, but it has no direction. So it's where all your power lives, but without any type of direction unless you give it direction. And so we want to intentionally impress the subconscious mind with good, with truth, with things that are actually aligned with what we want or where we want to go at in life. So she gives 4 different ways in this particular chapter of how to impress the subconscious mind. The first way is repeating affirmations. Now, affirmation is nothing more than a statement affirming whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is you want your life to look like. It's just you affirming that as if it is like that now. So you can affirm that your bank account is always overflowing with more than enough money. You can affirm that your body is completely healed. You can affirm whatever it is that you want. And so repeating the affirmation is what impresses it upon the subconscious mind. So one time saying, I am rich, will not necessarily impress your subconscious mind. So you want to repeat those affirmations. Now, I will say this real quick. Always make sure that your affirmation is something believable for you. So to say I'm a multi-billionaire and you know that you only make $50,000 a year, that may be a stretch. So make sure that, like, you can say overflow or just abundant. Words like that may feel more real than trying to say multi-billionaire. So one, make sure your affirmations seem real to you. And then two, you want to repeat them. So just like teaching a child their ABCs, for instance, you don't just sing them to them one time and then never again. Like, you're always counting, singing the ABCs, reading, doing things like that for all their beginning years before they even get to kindergarten, right? You're already impressing upon their subconscious mind um, time after time after time again, what they watch on TV, the games that they play, all of those things continue to reiterate that alphabet or those numbers or whatever it is that you want them to learn. So it's the same thing for us with our subconscious. We want to repeat. So get you an affirmation, maybe a set of affirmations, whatever's comfortable for you, and repeat them. Now, the second way is showing active faith. Showing active faith literally just means preparing for the thing that you have asked for. In this example, she talks about a woman who asked for her husband back. And so what she would do is when she got ready to eat dinner, she set a plate for her husband, who at the time was not there, but she set a plate for him, believing that he was there. Long story short, they did get back together or whatever. So showing active faith means if you've asked for something, make sure you make room for that thing that you asked for as well. And then that shows your faith. That is another way to impress upon your subconscious mind. The third way she talks about is music. Music puts you in the right harmony and it opens up your imagination. Now, all music may not do that for you, so you got to find something that actually works for you, that puts you in that groove. You may dance, get the feeling to move your body, but that music, as long as it's putting you in a feel-good feeling and allows your imagination to open up so that you can imagine life exactly how you want it, that is another way of impressing the subconscious mind. The last way she talks about is playing make-believe. So think about when you were a child and we would play whatever, from being a school teacher to being a firefighter, a superhero. We would play make-believe. And that's what you want to do as another way of impressing upon your subconscious mind. In her example, she talks about a woman who was actually poor, but would not believe that she was poor. She continued to believe that she was rich, no matter who tried to tell her otherwise, no matter what type of advice her friends tried to give her. She, in her mind, was rich. In her mind, all she saw was opulence. And so in her 3D realm, she also had to see that opulence. She ended up marrying a rich man in this story, and she was able to see all these things in her 3D reality that she had been imagining in her imagination. And again, not allowing anybody to try to stop her. Even though they tried, she didn't allow them to stop her from imagining what she wanted and playing as if. Lastly, I want to point out two things that Florence talks about. She talks about birds before land. And birds before land simply means seeing signs of your manifestation before they come. And so that could happen. And the call out here is that you don't want to take that sign as your actual manifestation and then stop affirming or believing for it or whatever you were doing, because it's just a sign that the actual manifestation is right around the corner. So whatever you're believing for, continue to believe for it, continue to show your active faith and affirm or whatever you're doing until you see that thing here fully. Okay, so there may be birds before land. You just want to use that as encouragement, as confirmation that yes, this thing that I'm affirming for, it is coming. In the example that Florence gives, a lady affirmed for a set of dishes, and then someone ended up giving her one dish, and the dish was actually old and cracked some kind of way. And she was a little upset when she first saw it, but Florence had to remind her, this is literally just your bird before land. So it's okay. Go ahead and accept it or whatever you want to do. But it's just a sign that what you asked for is coming. And she did end up getting her set of dishes as she wanted. And the last thing I want to point out is darkness before dawn. Now, before I go into this, I want to say your life is whatever you make it to be, whatever you believe it to be. You do not have to subscribe to darkness before dawn. You do not have to. You do not have to believe that things have to get dark before they get, what they say, it always gets worse before it gets better. You don't have to believe that. You do not have to subscribe to that. It's totally up to you. But I do want to bring it up because she brought it up in this chapter. Darkness before dawn only means that when you are in the middle of manifesting or believing for something, the doubt and the fear that's already in your subconscious, if it is any in there, normally comes up around that time. And the encouragement here is to know that it comes up so that you can release it. It comes up so that you can go ahead and cast it upon the superconscious in order to get rid of it. Okay. So if you do experience any darkness before the dawn, just know it doesn't mean that your thing isn't coming or that you should stop affirming or anything like that. It's just the old stuff in the subconscious that's being cleared out. And now it's up to you when it gets to your conscious mind to cast that burden upon the superconscious mind. And you continue to imagine for the thing that you want. So I really enjoyed chapter 6. I hope you did too. And I will see you next week for chapter 7.